Hey class, we're talking about factoring by GCF, or the greatest common factor. It's always the first thing you look for when you factor, and it's a really important skill for Algebra 2. So this is the first one to look at. 5x squared plus 15x. We're going to try and find something in common in both terms here, and we're going to get it factored out. I'm noticing both terms have an x. This one actually, the left one has two of them, and the right one has only one. But when you take something, it has to come from both terms at the same time. So I can only take one x because this one only has one to give. So I know an x is going to be out. That's part of my greatest common factor. I also see that there's two numbers there, and they both can divide by a common factor number. Looks like 5 is the biggest thing I can divide out of both. So this is my greatest common factor. That is the GCF. I'm not done yet because I found it, but that's what is going to come out. Our goal is to write this as a multiplication problem, so as a distribution problem. And so I have to put in the leftovers after I divide this 5x out. So if I take 5x squared divided by 5x, well, 5 divided by 5 is just 1. And then x squared means 2 x's over 1. One of those x's is going to divide out, and we're just left over with 1. You know you did it right if you could take that guy times that guy, and it ends up being the same thing we had before. So if I take 5x times 1x, and it ends up as that, it works. One thing that you don't have to do is you don't have to write the 1. It can just be written as x. Cool. So now let's divide this 15x by the 5x, because we got the leftovers from the first one. Oh, that was a 5x squared. There we go. So divide the 15x by the 5x, and see what we get. So x divided by x divides to 1. Anything 1 is itself, so it cancels. Anything times 1 is itself. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So the x's are gone, and we just have a 3 in here. And now we have our answer. This is factored by greatest common factor. If you want to double check, again, you don't always have to double check, but I recommend it. You can just distribute and see if what you get ends up as your original. So this is done, but if I want to double check it, I can be like, okay, those two should make that, and then those two should make that. And they do. So we know we did it right. But yeah, this is our final answer. So I'll do one more example. This one has bigger powers. The only reason I picked this one is because these ones sometimes confuse people. I see numbers that can divide out. Looks like 4 is the biggest number in both of those. And then I also see x's that can divide out too. This side has 3 of them. This side has 2 of them. And you have to take the same time, exact same amount. So the 12 only's got 2. You generally want the smallest powers worth amount of x's. So, because otherwise it doesn't, I can't take 3 because the 12x squared doesn't have 3 to give. So that's not possible, but I can take 2. And then I got, that's my GCF, that's my biggest common factor. But now I have to do the leftovers. So divide 4x cubed divided by 4x squared. 4 divided by 4 is just 1. X cubed divided by x squared is, well, if there's 3, 2 of them are gone now because you divided them away. It's just an x. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Negative 12 divided by 4 is a negative 3. And then x squared divided by x squared is, well, they just do the same thing, so they divide to 1. They just divide away, cancel out, whatever you want to call them. So we end up with our final answer. You could also do that same double check if you want to. Anyhow, thanks for listening. That's how to factor by greatest common factor.